Well, happy days, my fantastic artistic friends. We're going to do a big painting today, and you may have seen this picture before. It's a version of Bob Ross's Snow Birch that he did in his TV shows, and I've done it a few times on the other channel, and I'll show you what we've got done up here already. This is going to be my take on it with some of them bits and pieces that Bob didn't put into his painting. But what we've done is taken a white canvas, and first thing, I put a little bit of a moon up there, so I've highlighted that with masked that off with a bit of masking tape and stuck that down, and then I've completely covered the canvas with black primer. Just covered the whole canvas, let it dry completely. Then I've got a funny feeling, well, we know now, don't we, that we're going to have some silver birches way back in the distance here. So I've taken grey gesso and just put a few indications of some silver birches, and then in the foreground a little bit more of white gesso, so until we get some silver birch looking bark and twigs and all that lot back in the distance there. And then at the side here we're going to have some more silver birches, and then there's a big one to your right hand side, as you see. I think we're going to have a nice little mountain. We're going to make it a moonscape, a moon time sort of landscape picture. And if you want to see me how I did all this, I'll tag a video at the end on how I did it on Master Temple's Treasures, the channel that is now just for coin collecting, but I used to do a bit of painting on there, if you can remember. But let's get on with this. Now it's all dry anyway, so I'll let the gesso dry and everything like that. We've coated it in a very, very thin layer of liquid clear, very thin. I put it on, I've scraped most of it off with a palette knife, then I've gone over it again with a paper towel just to take off all the excess liquid clear, because you can't see where you put it, and you don't want too much on. You just want a very thin film just to condition the canvas. Right, so first things first, I'm going to take a brush, a 1-inch paintbrush, and I'm going to go into some phthalo blue. Just some phthalo blue. And I'm going to start, it's going to be a little bit weird, this one, a bit strange. I'm going to paint most of it, and then we're going to put the mountain in. Okay, so I'm just going to come up here and right across the top we're just going to put some blue just there, just like that, and come down about halfway on these trees. Now these silver birches, again, that video that I'll tag at the end will show you exactly how I made those silver birches with the gessos. It's very, very simple. This one is a very simple painting and will work really good for you. It's one of my favourites. In fact, it's a lot of people's favourites, to be honest. Very popular in the Bob Ross community as well, this one. So I'm just going to take some Prussian blue. I'm just going to cover the sky as well. Now you probably can't see where the blue is on your camera, on your telly, on your phone, wherever you're watching this, but it's there, and you can pick that up as we're looking at it now. It's a bit hard on telly, I know. Okay, then a little bit down here, just down at the base, just there, a little bit of cool blue just down there. We don't want much, it's just like a little glaze over the canvas. There we go. Maybe a little bit up there, maybe a little bit into these reflections down here as well, just like that. Yeah, very simple, very straightforward, really easy peasy, but quite effective, very effective in fact. Okay, and because we painted some of these reflections, I think we'll just skim a little bit at the tops of these ones as well. Now your reflections don't have to match absolutely 100% what's in the water below. It helps, but no one's going to turn your painting upside down and have a look at it. There we go. And that's about that for the blue. Now I'm going to get rid of that brush, and I'm going to pick up another one, just a smaller one. This is a little tiny 1/2-inch brush, and I'm going to get some Indian yellow. Now you could use bigger brushes or not, but around where the moon is, I'm going to put some Indian yellow, just there, like that, and then feather this out. Like I said, we're going to have a nice moon up there that's going to glow up the sky, the nighttime sky. We may even put 1 or 2 stars in, depending on how we feel, depending on time. Okay, just a little bit more. Right, now I'm going to come underneath this blue on these silver birches, and I'm going to glaze these, and I'm going to go up to the blue, almost touch it. This is one of the most fantastic, colourful nighttime paintings you could ever do. And when I first saw Bob Ross paint this, way back in the 90s, I was, oh God, that's a cracking picture. There we go. And we're using Indian yellow. It's quite transparent, so it'll paint straight over all these gesso trees underneath without distorting them too much. And then on this silver birch up here, we'll just bring that down. And where the blue and the yellow meet, I'll make a nice turquoisey colour as well. So that'll give you another variant into your picture. Okay, make sure all the yellow's covered, all the white's covered. And then down here we'll go for this one as well. There we go. Colours of Yorkshire, you see. White and yellow and blue. There we go. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to wash this brush off, just swill it off, odourless paint thinner, as we normally do. Shake it off and hit it against the easel leg, just like that. Okay, with a tiny bit, I'm going to take a fan brush now, and with a tiny bit of white, it's going to be just a tiny bit, not much at all, really just a faint little bit. In fact, I'm going to load the brush and then just try and wipe off a fair bit of the excess on a paper towel, and I'm just going to feather in just where the moon is, just feather in a little bit of glow. There, we can work that out if we wish, up into the blue. There, and maybe a bit up there as well. Don't want to take too much away from the trees, you see. There, now save that. Now I'm going to take the paintbrush that's got some of the blue paint that we had on, just knock off most of the excess, and then just gently go across that. And that again will give that nice impression of a turquoisey colour in the sky, the Indian yellow, white, and the blue. And just blend that up there, just like that. Okay, so we've got a few little clouds, a little bit of a halo around the moon. Right, now let's take this masking tape off. So we'll just try and sneak underneath, if I can. Just try and sneak underneath and pull that masking tape off. That's one half. Let's get the other half off. There we go. Just like that. Now we've got a bright moon. So all I'm going to do with the white that we had on before, maybe a bit more blue in that, like this colour. There we go. Just dust that across. I'm going to add a little tiny touch of yellow to that. Just a bit more yellow just in there. There we go. And then just feather that out. Just like that. If you get some blue in that, of course it'll go a nice turquoisey greeny colour, but we don't want green moon. We nearly got that then, you know. But that's a nice dull yellowy moon just up there. All right, now I think we'll leave that moon as it is. Okay, again, wash that brush off because we may need it later. Okay, I'm going to work on some little mountains now. Now what I'm going to do is I've already pre-mixed some colours. So these are Van Dyke Brown. This is Van Dyke Brown, a little bit of Prussian Blue and a tiny bit of white in there. So all I'm going to do is get that. I've got a couple of different colours. I've left it quite marbled, and I'm going to have a mountain that just starts off life round about there and just works his way down there like so. There. And we're not going to have the big jagged shark tooth kind of mountains. What we're going to have is just like a flat top mountain, I think, because we've got this black undercoat already on there. Make it nice and easy for us to apply some of these colours, just the same way as we would do bark on trees or rocks on waterfalls. If you've painted with me before. Okay, we'll put another little bit there. Bring that down. Like so, and then maybe out there, down like that. Maybe that comes down there. See, a lot of this is done in your prep, you see. Now, prep time can take a fair whack, but when you're painting like this, why not? Why not spend some time prepping a canvas? Okay. I've got some blue, I've got some Van Dyke Brown, I've got a bit of white, just a tiny bit of white, and this is going to be our shadow colour. So I'm going to come up here and just add a little couple of indications up here of this as well. Bring that down there, and maybe there. See, blue's a nice reflected light colour. There. And we'll go for a little bit in there as well. I hope you can see that. We don't want too much. We don't want to get into this tree line, you see. I want to keep that quite pure because I'm going to try and mist some of this so it fades back into the background. Okay, all being well. Right, I've got Van Dyke Brown. No, sorry, I have got a bit of Van Dyke Brown. I've got a bit of burnt sienna and a tiny bit of white. And this is going to be that highlight colour. So where the moon is, we'll bring that down very gently, hardly touch the canvas. Let the knife just apply what it needs to apply. There we go, a bit on that top there, and down like that. There we go. And maybe there's a sneaky one that's in there. Maybe that sneaks right down in front of that one. Like so. There. A big old rocky mountain. There we go. Let's move that a little bit. Give that a bit more definition there. Like that. And then take this and then come across the top of that. Maybe that's getting highlighted too. There, that's maybe there, like so. Just like that. Easy peasy, yeah? Easy peasy. Right. See that little tiny brush that we had before? Make sure it's clean and dry. And I'm going to go into a very microscopic amount, a tiny amount of titanium white. Just pure titanium white. We don't want too much. Titanium white is very, very opaque, which means when we paint on here with titanium white, we're going to cover everything and it'll be white. So we just want a little tiny touch. And if we've got too much on there, all we need to do is wipe it off on a paper towel. Okay, and all I'm going to do is just very gently tap up the side of this mountain. Follow the angles of the mountain. Just tap up, keep tapping, keep moving the brush. Don't let the brush stay still in one position too long. Okay, just like that. And then further away, we come just down there, like that. Okay, again, following the angles of the mountain. And if you apply it thin enough, you can go over the top of some of these trees. Just there, like so. Got a little bit of an air there. If that happens, just scrape him off. Retap, just down there. Okay, so hardly any paint on the paintbrush now. Come over the top of these tree tops. Just there like that, so it's nice and misty way back here. And you can even bring that down there like so. There, so now we've got some mountains. I'm just going to gently go up the side, follow the angles of the mountains. And again, it would be difficult to do this if it were dry, so if we needed to put the liquid clear on there, it'd also be difficult to do if we put too much liquid clear on there. So getting that mix right is paramount. It's absolutely paramount. Okay, blend that out into absolutely nothing. Take it way over. Yeah. All right. There we go. Right, so now I'm going to wash that again. I like it. I like little tiny brushes that can sneak into places as well. All right, so I'm going to work on, let's work on some snow down here. So I'm going to do we take a palette knife? Do we take a brush? What do we fancy, folks? What do we fancy? I'm going to take the little palette knife. Okay, scrape off a little bit of titanium white paint. And up here, I'm just going to push in some snow. Just push that in. And this is the far bank of a little river or a stream or a pond, probably a pond. And just push that in, push the knife there like so. Maybe it comes out there like that. Maybe a bit more paint. There. There we go. We're going to come back in here and do this part in a moment. Maybe a bit more. There, like that. Really bending the knife. You're not going to hurt the canvas, just really bend the knife. Working between those individual trees. Okay, now then, wipe the knife off. Now I'm going to take my finger, which one will be best for this, and just a clean dry finger, and at the top, I mean you can use a paintbrush for this if you wish, but I'm just going to just gently smudge and blend some of this back. Work between the trees. Just blend some of this back so you can see the nap of the canvas. There, like that. Just blend it just a little tiny bit. There. A bit more up there. Blend it to nothing. Blend it away to nothing. If you get a bit much on your finger, just wipe your finger on a paper towel. Please don't break your finger against the easel leg. That would hurt. That would seriously hurt, folks. And then just blend that in. And certainly don't put your fingers in your mouth once you've been working with oil paints. Oil paints are made out of lead, heavy metal, and it's not nice. It's not nice. In fact, it's quite poisonous, so don't be silly. Respect the paint. Okay, so there we go. So now we've got a nice blended little background just sitting in the mist. Keep going. Again, you can do this, like I said, with a paintbrush if you wish. Bit more control with the finger. Right, so again, yeah. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of white. Now you see where some of these are not on the shoreline. We can add a bit more snow on top of them. Just like that. There, so it looks like a little bit of a bank of snow. That's a little island of snow that's just poking through the water there. Right, let's work on something on this side. So again, I'm going to take a fan brush, clean and dry, and up here I'm going to work on some snow. So I'm going to bring that down there. Try and keep the level of, you know, the base of the snow nice and flat, because it's on the water surface, you see. Nice and flat, just like that. We'll work up a little bit in between the tree trunks. There, just pull that down. Nice snowbank. It's actually snowing quite, it's not heavy now, but it was heavier earlier. I'm painting this, and hopefully you'll get to see this Sunday morning. A bit of a mad panic over the last few days with Storm Eunice. I couldn't get to paint for you, so it's a bit of a mad rush, really. But I'd rather be in here painting with you than out there in that snowstorm right now. But let me know how you got on with that storm. I do hope everything were all right for you. I know it wasn't a very nice time. Right, so then a bit of white paint just there over all this, and the individual brush strokes will make the angle of the land, basically. Again, over there like that, and then down. Maybe make this side a bit bigger. Yeah, like so. Okay. Now we're getting there, aren't we? We're getting there. Now this one up here, so this grey gesso tree here is a little bit far away, so we need something to stand on. I'll just pull that there and then pull that through like that. Let it pick up some of that blue colour that we've put on already. Nice cool blue. Again, that cool blues in the edges will draw your eye into the centre. Okay, and then just work some titanium white around your tree trunk. Just like that. And then let's just neaten off the feet of that tree just there like that. So we've got a nice silver birch popping through the snow. There. Like so. Alright. Okay, so with this one here, I'm just going to grab a dry brush and I'm just going to pull straight down with this just to create some little reflections that just go across that. Just go across that, nice and steady. Nice and steady. And then same on these. I don't want to distort the water too much. I want this to remain quite pure, following the original that Bob was doing back in the 90s. Again, just there, just quite leave it quite pure. There, like that. Like I said, a lot of the work is done in the prep. Okay, let's take that knife. Let's get a bit of liquid white, put it out. Let's neaten all this lot up. So I'm just gonna cut in some water lines. That's all we need to do. Should have picked the bigger knife up. Too slow. But that's all we need to do. Just cut in some water lines. Just like that. Put one or two out here. We said we were going to have a star or two, didn't we? So maybe we should put a star for Bob on here as well. Alright. So a little water line. Just there. Neaten all this lot up. Again, you're not going to cut through your canvas. Canvases are quite tough. And some of these water lines push the image into the painting. Just like that. Keep them as straight as you can to the base of your canvas as well. Maybe one more. There, like that. There we've got a couple of water lines. There. Right, let's put a bob star in there. Right, so all I'm going to do, take the tiniest, get a fan brush, dip the end in titanium white, and then just where you want the star to be, that's where it'll be. Down below, maybe we'll have a reflection of that, even though no reflection of the mountain, but we'll put a star one in anyway. Okay, and then just take a tiny little brush, soft, and just blend that out, up and down, side to side, just like that, nice and soft. There, like that. Back to the palette knife. I'm going to pick a bit of Indian yellow, mix it with that liquid white, so it gives us a nice bright yellowy colour, nice light yellow cast. The small edge of the knife, and I'm just going to put that on there, and up we go, and across as well. There, like that. And then a nice little star, maybe a little twinkle down here as well. There, like that. Okay, last thing to do, find a little paintbrush, script liner brush, bit of bright red paint, and like I've said before, I'll put on the end of the picture how I created these. There we go. How I created the background material. It's easy enough. Okay, it's on another channel, so come back and rejoin this one, won't you? But you know, if you give it a go, let me know. If you stuck around with me this long, thank you. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and all that. Like, it helps us out. But until next time, take care of yourself, stay safe, and as always, happy painting, happy days.